Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Meet the Filmmaker. This time I'm here with Chris James Woods, director of such films as Chaos AD Death Score 3, which is Taste Me. That's what it's called, isn't it? I believe it's Taste Me, Death Score Surface Part 3, should I say. And Earth Girls Are Sleazy, along with a load of other stuff. He's, behind the scenes producer, writer, and everything else. So, hello, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Peter, how you doing? Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, the first question for you, as I can see you have many of your films lined up behind you, is how did you first get into filmmaking?
Well, technically, I've been in the movie making business, I guess, since 1992, so almost 30 years. And that's just kind of me up in New York when I first went to college, just making movies with friends, and then eventually I moved to Florida, and I took up film and had kind of like a show called Creeping Death after the Metallica song, and it was on the closed circuit television station at the school, and it was kind of like an anthology Twilight Zone show. So I did that, and then my first official movie that was ever like released to the public was my film Chameleon, which I shot in 1998, and it released in 2001 on actually VHS. So that was like the first movie that people could buy and people could see publicly that I did.
Well, that kind of answers your next question. So I guess we'll slightly change it to what was the first film project that you released under your company brand, or was that Chameleon?
Well, actually, under my company brand, Sleazebox, the very first film released under that brand banner was American Holocaust.
Which,
So that's the film. Yeah, that's the film that our company's kind of known for, and I'm kind of known for.
yeah, along with all the other things as well. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, you kind of answered that question as well. So how long have you been doing it? Well, you said pretty much nearly 30 plus years now. So I guess we'll throw you a different question. So out of your films that you've made thus far, your own personal ones, what's your favorite of your films? I know it's like asking a parent what his favorite child is, but
yeah, that's a tough one. But if I had to pick, I would say Chaos AD. That's my favorite.
Any particular reason?
Yeah, well, it's a film that I've been wanting. Like I filmed it back in 2016, but I've been kind of working on the story since 1995. So it was like a 20-year plus journey.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like I was writing a lot of scripts back in the day, and that was one of the ideas. Obviously, it changed a lot throughout the years. So it was like a script I kind of rewrote several times, and then it was like since 2001 was the last time I kind of rewrote it, and then I kind of sat there for pretty much 15 years, and then around 2015 or 2014 I kind of picked it up again and started rewriting it, and and then I finally kind of realized I can make this movie with the my means, and then started shooting it in early 2016 and released it around July of that year.
So I guess your next one is, what have you been working on at this? Well, it's probably not a lot at the moment because obviously everybody's in lockdown, but you've probably got ideas spinning in your head of what you want to do. So what have you been working on or currently working on?
Well, currently there's a number of projects that are kind of on hold because of the pandemic. One is a film called Family Snapshot, which is a different film. It's not under the Sleazebox banner. It's a drama, actually, about a father and son that are ex-cons that are plotting to do a mass shooting. Pretty much the movie's done. There's a couple pickup scenes we need to do. We shot most of it back last year.
Yeah.
It stars Eight the Chosen One and Bob Glazier, who's both of them have been in a number of my films. But it's a very different role for both guys. They do They do tremendous in this film. They do amazing. So it's a different type of film that I'm trying to kind of branch out into to kind of
Yeah.
the mainstream with this film. A lot of other people were involved in it, like Sean Donahue. He was also producer on the film. I do a lot of films with Sean, like Descort and
Hmm.
Chaos ED. Um, but a lot of Sushi Holder is in it. Katie McKinley from the they have some parts in it, and Joe Makowski. So there's a lot of Joe Winecoop and Kathy Winecoop are in it. So a lot of the sleazebox actors and
Yeah.
actresses are in this film, but a lot of them are playing different types of characters.
Mm.
So that's one project. The other project is a documentary that I'm working on with Sean Donahue, who Sean's directing it, and it's a documentary on Florida horror filmmakers. So it's pretty much a documentary
Yeah.
on like, kind of ourselves, but
Mm.
also we touch on like the history of horror movies in Florida, like going back to the 1960s with Herschel Gordon Lewis, and also with Bill Griffey from the 70s, and like Joe Winecoop and Tim Ritter, and so Marcus Cook and Stephen Byro from Honor Films, and myself, Sean, Joe Davison, Shelby McIntyre, Andrew Allen, Andy Lolino. So ton of filmmakers that are in our area that we've been doing interviews since the beginning of this year, but we kind of had to stop,
Yeah.
and we're hopefully going to pick it up again in a little bit as things start to kind of reopen and get back to normal a little bit.
Well, that documentary sounds like it's going to be appealing to a mass audience, because there'll be obviously a lot of people that's familiar with Herschel Gordon Lewis, but maybe there's certain names that you just mentioned there that people go, I recognize that name, but I don't know why. So
Mm-hmm.
it'd be interesting to watch when it comes out. And I guess going back to talking about Bob Glazier, will he be keeping his trousers on for this next film?
Family Snapshot, he will be. Yeah, for Family Snapshot, he will be because this is more of a serious film.
Yeah.
Um, so it's much like different from the sleazebox movies, but I'm sure we're gonna continue to do some sleazebox stuff. So I'm sure his penis will make an appearance
Yes.
again
I
in the
was gonna, I
film.
was gonna say, I'm sure people that have seen a lot of your movies will be familiar with what I was just on about.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a couple of films we gave his penis a credit,
Yeah.
like in the end credits.
Why not?
Mm.
So, what advice would you give to people wanting to get into the film industry? Because obviously you've done producing, writing, directing, and you've done a bit of acting as well in some of your films. So, any advice for any of that, I guess?
Um, well, I would just encourage people, like, if you really want to do this, make movies. Uh, don't take no for an answer. If that's your dream, do it. It's a tough dream, and it's a dream that doesn't make money.
No.
At least if you're not in Hollywood and you're not in that system. Um, but if you want to do independent horror films or just independent films, uh, know that it it does take a lot. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of discipline. Um, you have to kind of like I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm also still learning. And so it's kind of like if you're getting started, start off small. Start especially nowadays. Like for me, back 30 years ago, you had to go to school to
Yeah.
get your hands on a camera and get your hand on an editing system. Nowadays, you can do all that on your phone.
Hmm.
So just go. If if you want to make movies, just start writing stories, writing a script, and go ahead and just use your phone or a camera and just shoot stuff with your friends. Start off with like that, and then kind of practice with that. And the more you do, it's like repetition. The more you do, you'll get better. And then as you get better, just start, you know, doing like more like features and
Yeah.
try to get your stuff out there, because I'm always looking, our company's looking for, young talent and talented filmmakers. and to release under our Sleazebox distribution company. And yeah, so I just encourage people, if you want to do this and that's your dream, go ahead and do it.
So in regards to your distribution label, would that be just Americans, Canadian ones? Is that just anybody from around any part of the world can get in touch with you and go, I've got this, would you be interested?
Yeah, I mean, it's really anybody. Like if you're from the United States, Canada, the UK, Europe, it doesn't matter. Like if as long as the format is, I can play the format, it's fine. And right now I'm kind of focusing on our digital, on VOD.
Yeah.
I have my own kind of Vimeo channel that's we call it Sleazebox on Demand, where you can buy or rent the films digitally. So right now I've been kind of hard at work, building that library up, putting a lot of titles that we have licensed to up on there. And it's doing very well right now.
Well, that kind of leads into your final question, which is, of course, promote yourself, your channel, your website, or anything else you want to promote.
Sure. Well, the website is thesleazebox.com. That's where you'll find everything from DVDs to Blu-rays to T-shirts, and also our on-demand channel. There's a link to that on there. But if you go on to Vimeo, type in the Sleazebox, you'll see videos you can watch for free, like trailers and whatnot, and also movies you can rent and buy. You can find me on Facebook. I'm Chris James Woods if you want to friend me. But we also have a Sleazebox page, a Sleazebox group, so you can find us there. I'm on Instagram under Chris James Woods. We do have a Twitter page. I don't really do Twitter too much, but we do have a Twitter page, which is, I think, at Sleazebox. And we're on YouTube as well. Just Google the Sleazebox, and you'll find us.
Make sure you put box on the end. Don't just type in sleeves. You'll come up with all sorts of stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I wish you the best of luck with your projects. Hopefully, you can get back to doing them soon.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me on the show. I very much appreciate it.
You're welcome. As soon as it's up, I will be in touch with it. So thanks very much. I'll let you get on with the rest of your day.
All right, thanks.
Cheers, Ed.